All right, everyone, welcome. Oh my goodness, we are so excited to have you here. What a delightful treat I have for you. Whenever you're watching this, whether it's daytime, evening, noontime, you are going to be delighted and excited as I am. I don't know if you're here on Permission to Play, our podcast, or if you're catching us on YouTube. It doesn't really matter. Wherever you are, however you got here, you are going to be so glad that you're here because I have my very dear friend, Quynh Vo, joining us. Yeah!
Yay! So happy to be with you, Julie. It's me who wants to be here with you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is, oh my gosh, this woman, I am so grateful to you, Quynh. You have been such a light in my life. Had the pleasure of meeting her on a cruise of all places. It's like, well, when you meet somebody in this relaxed kind of dream setting, it's just meant for goodness, right? Like it can only go up from there. You know?
From sea level, it has to go up.
Sea level. Everything is up from sea level. Absolutely. So Quynh and I got to sit down and share both what we're up to. We're in it's seemingly different places in the world, right? Quynh is this genius, money woman. Like she knows all the things about systems and organizations and steps and strategies. And I am like this arty, feeling, healer kind of person.
You live in the fifth dimension,
That's
Julie.
right. We're out there. Woo! And what's great about Quynh, and I'm going to let her share a little bit about herself here, is that she also has this huge, huge heart. And I know that you do too. You're here because you live your life from the heart. And I'm honored and delighted to introduce you to my friend Quynh Vo. So welcome.
Yay, so happy to be here, Julie.
Hey, would you mind sharing? You have such an impactful and pivotal story about how you got to where you are, because you haven't always been this brilliant money managing.
What? I thought I was born brilliant.
I mean, that's a very good point, Quynh. You've always been brilliant, and you shone brightly in spite of coming through some pretty muddy circumstances.
Well, you know what? You got me. So here's the truth. I mean, I didn't always feel this good about myself, because at one point in my life, I considered I was worth more dead than alive. So that was the bottom rock of my life. But here's the thing. In my life, and when I was younger, when I was 11, my parents took me on a life and death journey, escaping Vietnam by boat, on a tiny boat. There was 20 of us on that boat. And we had to take a chance and went all in, and we didn't know if we could survive this trip. And luckily we did. But I don't know about you, but a lot of entrepreneurs and people like me, we take chances. And sometimes we go all in, and sometimes we go all out. No, okay. I don't know.
I'm sensing a theme with you and boats too, Quynh. I don't know about this.
That's right, us and boats. But I went all in the real estate industry, and I invested myself. Now I made money, and I rise up to the wealth ladder really fast, because in 2003, when I started investing in real estate, I had 26 rental properties by the time I was before I hit 30. And if you didn't know, the thing about real estate is, if you buy one house every single year, in 10 years, you would have 10 properties, right? And then on the 11th year, you would be able to refinance your first property that you bought in the first year. And you can probably pull out at least $100,000. And that $100,000 is tax free. So my goal was to get 10 properties, and I can retire for free. And at that time, I was less than 30 years old. I was financially free. I had like 26 rental properties, and my properties was doubling in 3 years, because you know how it was in 2003 and 2006. That was like the bubble of real estate. But man, when sometimes shit happens. In my case, greed happens, and I went on in. I thought, you know what? This is easy. I'm such a genius. I can't lose with this. And I went all in. I leveraged all I could, and I was building multi-million-dollar homes, thinking that I would make $300,000 per house. And yet the reality was when the market crashed in 2008 and 9, I was losing $300,000 per house instead of making 300 per house. So yeah, so talk about major failure. Oh man, I went from the top to like the bottom, like $800,000 in debt.
Mm.
And because at that time I had a 3.5 million life insurance on me, so I really was worth more dead than alive. And so I totally wanted to take it easy and just start over again, and my family would be, will be taken care of. But you know what? Luckily, I was actually breastfeeding my little guy who was 6 months. And he was the one who was able to help me shift just on one night. As I was breastfeeding him, just this one night, I realized, oh my God, all the big names, the Warren Buffett, the Richard Branson, the Robert Kiyosaki, the book that I read that changed my life, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all those guys, they have all been bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm no worse than them. I'm no better than them. And here I am. I'm at this point, same place. I've learned so much in the past like 5 years, and here I am willing to give up. Why? So for some reason, I suddenly remember that all the leaders out there went bankrupt. And then I realized, oh, it's not about the money. It's actually about the skills. And they all came back much faster as well. So then I realized, okay, I can totally do this. And it took me 8 years to get back to where I was before the crash. Not only that, it took me a long time to rebuild my confidence because I was so guilty. I was feeling so ashamed of what I've done to myself and to my family. There was a lot of self-beating, a lot of guilt, it took me a long time to forgive myself. So yeah, talk about, man,
Yes.
it was not easy. Yeah.
What a roller coaster ride, and thank you
It's
for sharing. Such a pillar and an example and an inspiration. Truly, you spoke to failures, and I love that you said that. It's something that we talk about a lot in improv and in life, But in improv, we talk about failures. It's like there is actually no such thing as failures. There's only variations, and
Ooh,
yeah.
I like
So
that.
this idea that
Listen.
people are even afraid to get into improv or into acting or into public speaking of any kind because they're afraid of looking foolish, like afraid of having egg on their face. And it also in acting, we talk about high stakes, and it sounds like you were living real life high stakes in your life, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of actors, though they might not have the experience of investing, some of our actors do. So theater owners are also owning the building that they're in, but I feel like your stakes were so relatable, and we want to play real life on stage. We do that, and I think many of us, even in life, are afraid to play with some of the stakes that you played with. So what advice would you have to maybe some of our actors or artists or improvisers out there that might have never even had the courage to bust out into the real estate world or investing?
You know what? If you are an actor, an actress, or anything that is artist, if you're an artist, by the way, like you said, there's no failure. So when it comes to investing, it all boils down to three things. Number one, the mindset. First of all, you have to decide that you're gonna become financially free in order for you to get on this path. So I have a signature program that is a six like levels of money skills, but it boils down to three things. Number one is your mindset and deciding that you want to become financially free. And then it's actually not about the money, not at all about the money, because you can lose all the money, but if you have the skills, you can win it all back.
Like you did, yeah.
Yes, and here's the thing: money is basically it's kind of like it's something that comes and goes, but your skills stays, your knowledge stays with you, especially if it's experiential wisdom. It's not just book knowledge.
Right.
Yeah. And also the third thing about about wealth in general, wealth building, is that it's a compounding effect. Remember Albert Einstein, he said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Well, it is true, but then I say compound knowledge is actually 10 times more powerful than compound interest. Because when you learn something, and as you keep learning, as you keep growing, just one tiny little idea can totally change your business, can totally change your relationships and things like that. So if anything, one advice that I can give to anyone who desires to be financially free, who desires to have money is not an issue, is that number one, they decide to have that. And number two, they're going to learn the skills to achieve that. And number three is just to be um, patient enough so that the compound effect kicks in.
Yeah.
And building wealth is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, it's not an easy button. However, it doesn't require you to have money. It doesn't require you to be young, or it doesn't have any discrimination against age, ethnic, or even your looks, or yeah, all the time factor as well. So it all boils down to skills. That's it. And I have and if you already know about my signature program, it has 6 foundational money skills that everyone has to master in order to achieve financial success.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would definitely want to make sure we make that available to people and let them know how they can get in touch with that. So maybe at the end of this video, I'll make sure to include a link or something where they can click on that, or we'll be able to follow up. So however you're seeing this video, or if you're hearing this on a podcast, however you're getting this data right now, I will make sure to connect you with Quynn's program. I'm involved with Quynh in her larger program, in her year-long mastermind, which will also be available too. But definitely just getting those basics, like getting that foundation laid, is super, super important and so valuable.
Can I share with you those 6 steps right now? Like just
Yes.
the big picture?
Yes.
So step number 1 is money mindset. Step number 2 is money management. Step number 3 is tax minimization. Step number 4 is asset and income protection. Step number 5 is having multiple streams of income. And step number 6 is leverage. That's it. If you master these 6 levels of money skills, money will never be an issue for you. And not only that, this is for me, this 3 foundational skills, 6 foundational skills, it gives you freedom in 3 years. It's not a 40-year financial retirement plan. It's actually a free in 3 freedom plan.
I love that. Well, I know you said that it does, it takes time. We got to be patient, and 3 years is definitely where I'm willing to wait 3 years. For sure. I mean, you think about it. So again, like to my actor friends, my artists, I also have people that might be listening to this that are into the wellness plan. Like, how many of us go to the gym once and expect results, right? Like that's like the get rich quick, right? It's like get fit quick. It doesn't happen. We know that if we're going to train for a marathon, there's training involved. I'm a 2nd degree black belt. I didn't get that overnight. That was 6 years of steady, consistent work. And so I feel like I'm hearing you're kind of saying the same thing with money. Like if we just learn the simple skills and practices, we just go to the financial gym in a way, right? And like work out our financial muscles. And we do it like we would at a gym, where we have like a personal trainer or somebody that's working alongside with us, like yourself, and then we're not left to be like, wow, I don't really know how to use that machine over there. So I'm
I love your analogy, the finance muscles. I like that.
Get strong financially. Yes. Yeah, so I see a lot of correlations in many of the overlays. So awesome. Yeah, I want my actor friends to be encouraged, because I know a lot, and I was guilty of this too for the longest time, is just this kind of like starving artist mentality. So I love that you're starting with the mindset, because mindset is so key to the foundation, like where we're pouring in that wealth. We can't build wealth on a foundation that has no strength. So yeah,
totally.
Love it.
And you know what, Julie? The thing about learning wealth building skills is this. It's kind of like learning any skill. Like even like if you don't know how to swim,
Yep.
You just have to learn how to swim. And there's nothing wrong with you not knowing how to swim, right? Just like these wealth building strategies and skills, there's nothing wrong with you that you didn't know it because you never learned it.
Yes.
So and it's all learnable skills. That's what I want to stress.
So key. Like if we're just not like, I know so many of us are born into whatever home of origin we're born into. You know, you guys were born into a home and then you had to like flee your home of origin, right? And learn not
Yeah.
only a whole new culture, but, you know, like how to survive and thrive in a whole new country. You know, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
I feel like you are such a pillar, again, like just an example and an inspiration for all of us to be like, you know, not like if you can do it, we all can, but if you can do it, we all can. Like, I really feel like, yeah.
Well, seriously, I mean that's the whole point. Anyone can do this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any kind of barriers to your skills, to your education, to your looks.
Yes.
It might have some healthy thing. If you're not healthy, it might be hard on you. But for sure, it doesn't really discriminate against anything. Mm.
And I feel like health, like having your money healthy, helps to have your body, your physical health, just like you have more resources to also like less stress. Like there's so much that I feel like health wise, actually our health deteriorates when our money stuff isn't in order.
Oh my God! Actually, the reason why people are sick the most is because of stress related to money. I mean, that's number one reason why people get divorced, right? The strain in any relationship is usually money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see so much value in everything that you're offering. And what's great about Quynh, I mean, so many things are great about Quynh, but there's this, she's also an artist and a musician.
Ooh, I get to feel like an artist. Yay!
Well, so I would love it if you don't mind. I mean, we're here and you've added so much value to the day so far. You know, just learning again, these 6 basic steps of money, getting our money mindset in place, managing our money properly, tax minimization, right? Keeping more of our money, not necessarily, you know, uh,
Mhm.
giving money away we don't need to, and then protecting our assets, like that's super important. And then we having that multiple streams of income. I know my actor friends know what a side hustle is, right? How many of us have been waiters and waited tables? But then leveraging all of that too. So like such great information, and again, we're going to include links and we'll even maybe talk about it here before we go. But I would love for
Okay,
the
okay, wait. Before we go into the
okay,
nuts, I just wanted to point out one really important thing about what you
please.
just said there. The number 5 skill, the multiple streams of income. That I want people to start learning to build passive income versus
Yes.
active income. So I know when you said side hustle, I totally get it. But we're talking about the side hustle that gives you passive income, where you can leverage your time and technology
Yeah.
versus having to be paid per hour.
Well, and now especially, I mean, given world events that have happened in, you know, recent history, not sure when people will be stumbling upon this, but our world has just undergone a massive shift in how we participate with the world, and virtually being way more involved with internet engageability and internet marketing, and just so many events moving to virtual interaction, moving virtual and online, that now is such a great time to create those passive streams of income. And you are a pro, I know, at helping people to set that up.
Totally. And the level 6, the leverage, that's the skill that I went straight to level 6 without mastering level 4, which is asset protection. That's why I lost it all. So
Wow.
that's the reason why, like, these 6 level skills, you have to master it so that you don't collapse, you don't crash. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my gosh, I love it. So yeah, so you have something coming up, and I think it happens pretty regularly, right? You have a free summit coming up.
I do have a money mastery summit
Yes,
that I do 3 times a year,
three
and
times.
that's where I bring in 24 speakers. So we do it over 3 days, and I have 8 speakers a day, and these are all money experts who comes in and give you the best of their strategies and what's working right now for them to
Awesome.
help you get started. And it's free. Come on in. So
Yeah.
the website for that is moneymasteryformula.com/summit.
Cool. Moneymasteryformula.com/summit. And again, depending on when you're watching this interview, the summit will change. It happens 3 times a year. So if you just missed it, don't worry, you can catch the next one. And then if they are ready to jump right in with those 6 steps, what is that? How do they get involved in that?
In the 6 steps, they would be able to go to buy the program. So before they buy anything, I want them to see the steps before they even get in, so that if this is something that resonate with, then this is something they can try, right? And for everything that I do, there's always a 30 days money back guarantee.
Yep.
But the program is called Money Mastery Formula. It's
Okay.
a 6 weeks program.
Okay.
And it's at moneymasteryformula.com.
moneymasteryformula.com. Great. And the
But you know what?
moneymasteryformula.com/summit is available 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And then do you also run the 6 week 3 times a year too? Or is that more frequent?
It's yes, the 6 weeks program is live
Okay.
3 times a year. The rest of the time it'll be just recordings. By the way, regular price for this is $1,997. So now, because Julie is basically, Julie has a really special special gift for you. So I basically have dropped it down to $497 for you with Julie's.
Amazing.
Yeah,
$497. Oh my goodness, you guys, that is like not even one class for a college semester class. Like if you were, and you're gonna get so much more valuable information than I ever got at college. No offense.
You know what? My
College
minimum,
teachers.
like for anything that I invest in, usually if I invest in real estate or anything, I look for at least a double-digit return. So
Yeah.
for me, it's at least double-digit. But when I invest in a course, I want 10x return ROI. So
Yeah.
that's why I figure if my program can save people $20,000, I can justify my cost of $2,000, right?
Yes.
But then, well, it's for you. So we're gonna knock it down a lot.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, and as if that wasn't enough, Quynh has also agreed to give us another gift tonight for my artist, musician, actor.
Okay. Disclaimer. I'm not a singer. I'm not a professional performer, but I do like to play guitar once in a while, especially as a way for me to de-stress. And Julie caught me one day playing, and I guess it's entertaining.
It is. Well, and to your point, now a lot of people that might be watching this are also have the same opinion about themselves. And I want, whether that comes to improvising, whether that comes to learning about a new skill like money management, right? And or they're singers, right? Like whatever they're doing, they could even be someone that comes from my wellness world and they don't believe that they can get fit with yoga or whatever. You know, like we all have these beliefs that we're not good at X, Y, or Z. And so thank you, Quynh, for doing it because you love it and not because you need to be perfect at it. So she's going to sing a little bit for us, and I might see if she'll keep playing, and then maybe I'll improv a little over her playing. But we'll start with her.
I would love that. I would love to have you improv with me. Yes. Okay. So actually, before we just did this interview, I was actually feeling a little down. Like Mother's Day was just passed, and then I was actually feeling a little tired because last night I didn't go to bed until 4, and then so I was just playing, and so this is one of my favorite songs, and I don't know if you know this song or not, but it's called Que Sera Sera. Okay, so this is for you, Julie, and your friends.
Yay!
All right.
Go, Quynh!
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que Sera, Sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que Sera, Sera.
So good. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna keep going. So keep playing, and it'll probably cut in and out. This is video technology. We haven't quite mastered the live streaming of it.
Okay,
so
verse 2.
Yes.
When I was young, I fell in love. I asked my sweetheart, what lies ahead? Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que Sera, Sarah, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. 'Cause Sarah, Sarah.
Awesome. Now, if you keep playing the guitar but don't sing,
Okay.
I can improvise a verse on top of it.
Yay. Okay.
Ready? When I was just starting out, I asked my Quynh friend, what should I do? Should I invest or should I buy stocks? Here's what she said was true.
I love that.
Start where you are and let your mindset get clear. Once all of that stuff is near, I will promise you freedom.
That was so cool, Julie. I love that. Oh, man, by the way, we did not practice this at all.
No, I was improv. We didn't even know.
This was so much fun.
Well, thank you, Quynh, so much. I know that you are such a wealth of knowledge, and there are so many different ways people can get to know you, get to be introduced into the world of really healthy money practices. And you know, in improv, though we make stuff up, there is a structure to it, right? And it's the same with money. Like, you're going to kind of improvise through life, and what you choose to invest in, or the properties you look at, or the opportunities that become available for you might be improvisatory, but the structure, the format of the game of money is really the same. And that is what you're offering us, is a fun way to learn money, and we'll forever have it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we gotta do it with fun. There's no other way to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Quynh. What a true blessing. I'm so grateful that you were here tonight. Again, that is moneymasteryformula.com/summit or /summit if you were coming to one of her 3 times a year summits, and moneymasteryformula.com if you were going to just jump right in to that 6-week, 6-step program that is live, real time with Quynh. So Quynh, thank you so much for your generous offer to my amazing friends and community and tribe. And again, keep being amazing. Much love.
Much love. And you know what, Julie? I'm so happy to be with you anytime.
Bye for now, everyone.